I'm going to look at forms in HTML. Forms are really useful because they allow us to interact with our web pages. In this example, we're going to create a simple form that asks for a person's name, and then it takes that name and then just simply says hello, in this case Mary Poppins. So that's our example there of the code we're trying to aim at. I've already started with a template code there. I'm not going to write that out because you should be familiar with that now. I'm going to now start on the form. So I'm going to do form here. So we need our form tags, our opening and closing form tags. And there are lots of different form elements that we can have. We're going to look at 3 of them here: a label, input, which is allowing text input, and a submit button. So those are the 3 elements of the form. We can also have buttons, radio buttons, and checkboxes as well, but we're not gonna discuss those today. So to start with, we're going to have a label, and I'll explain what for is short in a second. Name. So this is our label tag here, and we have our corresponding closing label tag, and in that we're going to write enter name. So that's the label, and then we're going to have our input text box. So we can specify this as the text box with the text there, and then we're going to give it an ID. Again, this will become evident shortly. And then we're going to as well do a little bit of formatting here. So just put in a few breaks here to give us a sensible output. Then we're going to have our button. This is our submit button, and the type is submit, and we're going to do value equals click. So the value is what's written on the button itself. So that's what's written on the button. So that's our form there. So it's got three components: the label, text box, and submit. Let's just have a look at what that looks like. So if we do that, open it up, you can see here you've got enter name and the box. That's on the same line, and we've got our third component, which is the button here. So the label itself, the text box, and the button. Right. At the moment, when you click on the click button, it won't do anything for us. It's not doing anything because we haven't got an action. So we need to now incorporate some JavaScript code into this so that when you click on that button, something happens. At the moment, nothing's happening. What we need to do is to add some JavaScript so that it does something when we click on the button. So let's get going with this. We're going to create a new JavaScript function here. So let's get that inside our script tags, and then we're going to have a function which we'll call greeting, and put our curly brackets in like that, and it's going to have the message, and this works out. Message is hello, and it's going to do document get element by ID, and the ID is name. I'll explain this now, because what we're saying here is we're getting the ID here. ID is the name here, which corresponds to the ID here in the input text box here. So what we're doing is we're getting the value of whatever we put into that text box. That's what we're saying by get element ID and that's what this value here means as well. So we're getting the value of that's put into the text box with the ID name. While we're on this topic, we can say that this 4 here as well corresponds to the ID here. So the label will have a 4, and this label corresponds to this ID too. And what we need to do then, so we create our message there, and we concatenate hello plus the name we enter into the box, and we also want to display it as well. So we do document write message. So let's save that, and let's have a look, make sure there's no errors in that. So we have our script, we have our form, and now we need to link the two together such that when we click the submit button on the form, it will run this function. So the way we do that is within the form label at the top here, we do action equals JavaScript colon, and then it's greeting. This is the name of our JavaScript function here, greeting. So that now when we click on the button, it will perform the action of calling the function greeting. So let's save that, and also we just need to correct this area here, that's lowercase d there, and we can try that again. So let's put our name in there, click that, and there we go. It says what we'd expect it to say. So it says hello, and then Mary Poppins in this case, which was the name we put into the input box.